everybody, it's Erin. Welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to be drawing for my July TBR. So if you're new here, I have for the last few months been drawing for a TBR game where I connect the genres of books I have on my physical TBR to characters that go through a D&D style-ish challenge. If you want to see more on that, I'll link my first TBR video up above. For July, we're going to be drawing 10 books. I'm not home. I'm at my parents' house right now, so this is actually my old bedroom and my old bookshelves. So I won't have my books to show you, but I'll put a picture up. I also have a few categories like fantasy series that if I draw any more, I'm going to have to shuffle in my big monster card. The little monster card is already in there, but if I draw the last fantasy series, then I have a complete character, so the big monster card gets shuffled in too. So let's get started. Book number 1 this month is going to be On the Far Side of the Mountain by Jean Craig Head George. So this is a other series, because it's a kid series, which I loved as a kid. It made me want to go live out in the forest. Unfortunately, Kansas is not meant for that, but I'm excited to read the second one. It follows Sam, the same character from the first one, and it's a few years after he's been living in the forest by himself. I think his sister is living out there. Someone, I think a conservation officer, is coming out there to try and stop them. I don't really know much about it, but I'm excited to continue on with that series because I just absolutely adored it as a child. For book number 2, we have A Long Way Gone by Ishmael Bey. So this is a nonfiction. It's a memoir about Ishmael who grew up in Sierra Leone and was forced to be a child soldier. So I don't know if the book follows just his time as a child soldier or his whole life. I'm excited to read it either way. I've heard very good things. It's been on my shelf for quite a long time. I think it's going to be probably a dark and sad read, but also an amazing read. Book number 3, we have Face of Fortune by Colleen Kelly Eating. So this is a romance. It's the second in a series by that author. I read the first one because a friend of a friend of a friend wrote it, and I was just kind of supporting a small new author, and so I figured I'd continue on with the next one. And it's always good to have a romance in the mix. For book number 4, okay. So we have the Read Up, which means I get to pick a book that isn't in this stack or this level for my characters. I have a lot of good books that I just bought that I'm excited to get to. I think I am going to go with The Final Empire by Brandon Sanderson. I have heard so much about Brandon Sanderson recently. Everybody seems to love him, from booktube to friends and family. So the only one I've read by him is Warbreaker, and that was a long time ago. I didn't even realize it was the same author for a long time, and I know it's somebody I'm going to love, so I'm excited. So excited to get into this finally. I don't need to be starting a new series because I have so many I need to finish, but I can't help myself. Book number 5, World War Z by Max Brooks. So I'm pretty sure everybody probably knows what this is about. It's a fiction book, or in the fiction category. It's a dystopian zombie, just action-packed. I don't know how much the book relates to the movie. I haven't seen the movie because I don't like scary movies. They give me nightmares. So I haven't seen the movie, but I know the premise, and I usually do better with a scary book than a scary movie. So we'll see what this one is like, but I'm excited. So yeah, that'll be a good one to throw in. I've got a lot of good books so far. I feel like this is going to be a good month. Book number 6, Friend recommendation. So this reader recommendation, it doesn't count towards your character count, but it could count towards a challenge, which is the same thing with the other one. The Brandon Sanderson is not going to count towards any of my characters, and I think for this one, I'm going to read The Shadow of the Wind by Carlos Ruiz Zafón. So this book was recommended to me maybe like a month or 2 ago, and so I have a copy. I've been excited to read it. It's about a kid who reads a book. I think the book actually is called The Shadow of the Wind, and he wants to know more about it, and he goes to kind of like find more about it and realizes that other copies have been mysteriously disappearing or destroyed, and he may even have the only one. So from what I understand, he's like trying to figure out what's happening with this book and why are they being destroyed. So Shadow of the Wind is going to be book number 6. For number 7, we have Malice by John Gwynne. So I'm so happy this one came up because I recently joined a Discord by Witch Kitten Reads for the Wheel of Time series, and she absolutely loves this series, and she's gotten a lot of people to read it, so I'm excited to tell her that I am officially joining the group that's reading this. Ooh, that was also the last book in the fantasy series category, so that means I need to shuffle in my big monster card, and I need to shuffle in the Monster Munch, which just gives the monster an extra power. Alright, so those have been shuffled in. I have 3 more draws, so let's see what those last few books are. Decided to join us. So this is actually a skip, so whatever I draw next I have to skip whether I like it or not. So I'm gonna be skipping Orange, which I was so excited to read. So this is getting shuffled back in, and I still have 3 more draws. So the next one is Among the Hidden. This counts for the wolf character by Margaret Peterson Haddocks. This was a very popular book when I was younger, and I definitely have read it before. I also think it is part of a series, but I don't think right now I'm going to count it as a series because I probably won't read the rest of it. So this story follows Luke, who is, I can't remember if he's like the 2nd or 3rd child, but anyway, he's an illegal child. And so he is stuck at his house. He can't go outside because he is technically not supposed to exist. And one day he's looking out of his window, just taking a peek, and sees someone across the street also taking a peek. So he's trying to figure out who that person is. Are they another illegal child like he is? I remember it being a really intense story as a kid. I'm excited to see how that holds up now if I read it as an adult. Book number 9, we have Bridget Jones' Diary by Helen Fielding. So I don't have this book. I put a little mark up at the top if I needed to get it from the library, but this is going to be another romance. So 2 romance this month. I've watched this movie so many times, but I've never actually read the book. And usually I struggle if I watch the movie first because I don't get to imagine it in my head and kind of create that story on my own. So I have trouble going back to the book when I already know what's going to happen. Hopefully this will work out. I think it will because it's, first of all, been a while since I've seen the movie. And secondly, it's just a fun romance. I don't know how closely the movie follows the book either. And our last book this month is a classic, Memoirs of a Geisha by Arthur Golden. And this actually counts for a Monster Munch. So the next time I draw a monster, I'm going to have to read 1 extra classic to defeat it. But yeah, so this is a book I've had on my shelf and heard a ton about, but I don't actually know anything about it. I mean, I'm assuming the title is pretty self-explanatory. But I've never actually looked into a synopsis. And I have said before on my channel I struggle with classics, but I've always thought that this is one that maybe I could potentially really enjoy. So I am hopeful. A quick rundown, because this is a good one. Memoirs of a Geisha, Bridget Jones' Diary, Among the Hidden, Malice, Shadow of the Wind, World War Z, The Final Empire, Face of Fortune, A Long Way Gone, and On the Far Side of the Mountain. I can't do a stack because I don't have my books, but how about this? Is this as good as a stack? I don't know. I'm excited because this is going to be a really good month of reading. So let me know if you've read any of them and which ones are your favorite from the list, which ones you're excited to see, if there are any you'd like a review of. I also feel like this is going to be my last month of really good reading because school is potentially starting back up in August and it's going to be chaotic at best. So the likelihood of me reading all 10 books again past July is pretty low. But who knows? I hope you all have a great week and thank you so much for watching my video. Bye!